Microphone check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check me out. You know I'm buckle my shoe. All right, we sound good. This one goes, I can't take living in the United States anymore. It purely sucks. By Large Man Abroad. That should be fun.
Sometimes I just feel like it's time to give up on this country.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just being ripped apart every day. The people are divided more and more. The cost of everything is getting higher and higher. And it doesn't really feel like there's anything to save at this point except for nostalgia, right? Things from the past. Because the truth is, the best days of our country are behind us.
I don't like that.
Whatever the future is going to be in this country is going to be a long time from now because all we know is just prolonged chaos.
Prolonged chaos. I like that. Prolong, farewell, the chaos, say goodbye. Goodbye. All right, anyways. He's got a point about the nostalgia thing. I kind of find myself, I'm on vacation right now, bringing my work with me, money. But we were in North Carolina. We're in Michigan now, me and my girlfriend, and we have a crazy idea on starting a family in this, in this economic climate. But when we're in North Carolina, we're in this small mountain town, and it really did feel like what I would imagine America was in the 70s or 80s. Like, everyone knew each other. It was kind of bizarre. Like, the amount of times I had to wave to somebody. Like, dude, my waving game is way, way off. I got a crazy story for you. I'll tell you at the end. We're in a gnarly car accident, but this ties into community. My uncle decided to nod off at the wheel and rail us into a tree going 45 miles an hour, but I'll talk about that a little later. There's a community aspect to that story, though. Anyways.
Is what's ahead of us. Because the question has to be asked now, who even are we as a country? Can you even tell me what an American is? Can you even tell me what it is to be an American? This country means nothing anymore.
An American to me, or like what I kind of perceived it, was like, we don't take no shit. We're gonna handle business. And we're gonna have fun. That's kind of what, when you think of freedom, when I think about, and I'm traveling around the country right now, not around, just up 2 different states, whatever. But like, the ability to just maneuver freely, and honestly, I've been through the court system twice in my life, and skateboarding on public property. I was an amateur skateboarder. That was the only time I was really messed with by the cops. And I'm white too, so maybe that has something to do with it. But like, you're still able to move pretty freely. The only thing is can you afford to? But if you can afford to, America's still great. In my personal opinion, I don't know where I'm going with this, but there's still like this freedom to it, if that makes any sense. So, hopefully there's a little hope, maybe.
Like I said, the America that we knew is a memory. When we think of what America is, we're talking about the past. A past that's usually created because it never actually existed. The idea of America's greatness is an idea only in our heads because the history of our country is so marred with brutality, both on people from abroad and people in our country. There's no time of plenty. There were times that were easier, sure. But where was this great time where all Americans thrived, where everything was good, where we were a nation at peace? Because in my lifetime, I can't remember a time that we were truly in peace. We're all...
Well, dude, yeah, it's never been at peace, man. You got all the world wars, okay? Don't forget about the Japs, right? The Vietnam crap. Hold on one second. Sorry, I got distracted. I think there's always been bullshit going on. I'm not like the old wise one here or nothing like that, but I'm 35, and even just 10 years ago, yeah, 9/11, COVID, yes, all that shit. But even just 10 years ago, it was pretty chill. You know, I decided at one point when I was 24, I said, hey, I'm just going to move to California and just start a fresh life and have fun. And I did exactly that, you know. The only difference was is I did it on a bartender's salary, a good bartender salary, like, you know, 60 grand, 70 grand a year. It wasn't like elite bartender. I wasn't Tom Cruise. It wasn't no six-figure deal. But that wasn't too long ago. You know what I mean? Like, that was right there. So I think it's still kind of possible, but I think it's more just the money aspect and the lack of community. I will say the hardest part for me, because this dude's whole channel is kind of like, he wants to go abroad. He's lived abroad forever. For me, though, I have a hard time letting go of family, really. I have a hard time doing that. And I know you have to start your own, but that's kind of the hardest thing for me, is letting go of those people in my surrounding area. Even if I only see them once every 2 weeks, that means a lot to me. I don't know about you, but just something to think about. I like this guy, by the way. Large man abroad. He's super cool. I like him.
Always involved in something somewhere. And in the vast majority of my adult life, over 20 years, our country was at war. Our country was getting involved in other people's problems. Our country played the bully and played the policeman. And you just have to be tired of it at some point. You just have to ask yourself, is this what represents me? Is this who I am? Because the fact is no. And is it who represents you? No, it's not. Most Americans are tired of this. Most Americans want nothing to do with this.
I agree with them 100%, but the war thing, that's been going on since fucking Moses parted the sea, metaphorically speaking, okay? We're talking, this is nothing new. This has been going on forever. If anything, it seems pretty chill. I don't know about you guys, but when's the last time you left your house and there's just war going on? I'm serious. When? I'll wait. Please tell me. Go ahead. That's right. Never. But we are getting dramatic here, so let's just keep playing along.
Most Americans, deep down, as much as there might be some kind of pride about this country, absolutely understand that it's kind of the villain at this point. I know a lot of people out there understand that, yeah, Americans, they are pretty much the bad guys. They blow everybody up. Yeah, but for a lot of Americans, there's this deep veil of denial that comes through a lifetime of indoctrination. This idea that we are the greatest country on the planet. This idea that Americans themselves have some kind of special power that other people don't have in this world. The fact is, most of us are just completely spoiled and entitled. We don't produce anymore. We don't create. All we do is consume. All we do is consume and pollute any kind of goodness in this world, because our culture is what? What comes out of Hollywood? What comes out of the movies? Our politics? The only real export that America has now is really bad movies and military adventurism. That's all it is. Who are we as a country? What?
You know what? He's got a point. Don't take this the wrong way, but I always thought it was a little corny, kind of cheesy to like rock an American flag. I don't know what that's about. I think it's wherever. If I was born in Mexico, any country. Like, I always thought it was a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's my association with. I don't know. I'm not saying America, baby. I'm not saying that. I love my country, or at least my Florida. I feel like we're in brackets, you know. If you're from Florida, you're like, represent Florida. New York, you know, New Yorkers are. But like, I don't know what that is. Maybe it is kind of like a little bit of disappointment, you know, because I see other people rocking Mexican flags, Haitian flags, Jamaican flags, and they're like stoked on that. Even though they live in America, it's kind of odd, but I don't know. I have this weird association with like wearing an American flag on my t-shirt. Does that make sense? Oh no, I kind of just like, I'm neutral, you know? I'm a sovereign citizen. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. But just something to think about. Maybe you feel that way. I don't know. I don't know why I brought that up.
What defines us as a country? What's our history now? I feel like it's been so long since we've been the storied America of the past that even if you have a beautiful view of what our country was, how long ago was it since we actually felt that representation of what we think America is was reality? Because it just wasn't in my lifetime.
I'll tell you exactly what America, I just witnessed this. So, got in a gnarly car accident recently, like 4 days ago. Mangled the car. So we're driving, my uncle nods off at the wheel. We're in a mountain town, and he just decides to rail us into a tree. And he's like 80. I probably should have been driving. My aunt, she's 80, she's in the back seat, and so is my girlfriend. My aunt didn't have a seatbelt on, and my uncle was driving. I braced myself. I saw the tree. I walked out unhurt. But my uncle fractured his sternum. He's still in the hospital. It's been 4 days. My aunt, she flew. Fucking arm broken, the whole nine. Point of the story is I hop out of the car. I'm fucked up. It was like surreal. It's like trippy shit. I run around, car smoking, I make sure it's off. I gotta get these two 80-year-olds out of this car. Next thing you know, this is where the America thing ties in on how I kind of view it. I didn't know we were close to their house, and they know everybody in their neighborhood. It's a very small town, USA. All of a sudden, these people come out of nowhere because there's a bunch of houses in the mountains, and they start calling them by their first names. And they're like, Marilyn, Don, you guys okay? And at first, I'm sitting there going, how in the shit did you guys acquaint each other, like introduce yourselves? And then it hit me, oh, we're near their neighborhood. We're not by the house. We're just in this big neighborhood, and everyone knows each other. But the amount of people that came out, not to watch as a spectacle, but to help, was unreal. Like, it's kind of mind-blowing. Like besides the near-death experience, could have flew off a fucking cliff, dude. Last time I let 80-year-olds drive me around. But, just saying. But it did show me this, like, oh, this is still here. But then it registered later. All these people are 70 and up. Something to think about. They still hold, you can still see it. It's just, I think the community aspect, no matter where you go in the world, is number one. I don't give a shit where it is. I don't care if you're in Peru buckling your shoe. That showed me, though, that it's like, oh, it's still here. It's just from our elders. And they're still holding that down. It's kind of like small town USA still exists. But when you're crammed in the city, it's kind of hard to do that. And the money. Let's not forget the money here. Anyways, let's let them keep going, then we'll check out the comments here.
Can I say that the culture in the 80s and the 90s were a lot better than today? Absolutely. Of course, it was a time before social media. It was a time before cell phones. You know, people actually lived lives. But still, the way that the corporations worked, the way that the government worked, it was moving the people, it was hurrying them along into a decaying economic structure that would inevitably place the people of America into a position of chattel slavery. That's all we are. We're cows meant to be milked for profit, but we're not actually of any purpose anymore. Like I said, what do we create?
I feel I'm on that one. I do.
If you look at our cities, what cities are we actually proud of in the United States? Where are the new buildings? Where are the new roads? Where are the new towns? America is decaying. It is a festering, rotting body, and the people have been feeding off of it to survive for a long time, and most of us are getting food poisoning at this point, and we can't stomach another taste. But what can we do? Is there anywhere else in this world that we can go, where we can escape America? No, because America is everywhere, because our culture has reached.
I'm going to say bullshit on everything's just decaying. I'm going to say bullshit. Yeah, a lot of cities, sure. It does. It is. Yes, I've been all around the United States. I'm not well traveled around the world, but I've been around the U.S., baby. You're goddamn right. I'm gonna call bullshit. Where we're staying right now in Michigan, fucking beautiful. It's well kept. There's no trash on the side of the road. Now, when we go to Detroit, yeah, it's a little shitty. It is. It is pretty, not that I wouldn't live there. But over here, 20 miles this way, fucking beautiful. Same thing where I live in Florida. Where we live, there's bound to be trash on the side of the road. You go 15 minutes north, spectacular. You go out to the countryside, 30 minutes inland, fucking boots and shit, good old boys, they take a little bit of pride. It still exists. It does. It's just more expensive to live there. Just to be fair. To be fair.
Every part of the world, the worst parts of Americans have leaked into every other culture, that even if I go to a place where I don't meet another American, I can still meet people who are Americanized.
He's got a point, because American television, that's like worldwide. This much I promise you. This much I promise you. That American television, from as far back as you can remember, has reigned supreme. In other countries, they're watching our shit. So he's got a point with the leaking over business. He does.
I think it's one of the great sadnesses of the modern age is that our culture, our vampiric culture, has leached the originality out of so many other cultures and created nothing but a corrupted landscape of corporate billboards. That's what America is now. America is the corporation. America is Citizens United. America is not the people. And it doesn't matter what people those are. It doesn't matter if they're white, if they're black, if they're Hispanic, if they're Native American, if they're Asian. It doesn't matter. There is no real Americans anymore, because to be an American is only participate in the American economic system. That's all it is. This place is trash. This place means nothing. And it's tragic, because so many people throughout generations have given their life to bring America to where it is today, but this isn't what we were promised. Dying people on battlefields who were promised that their families would be led into a better time were deceived. The oaths that people made to them were broken, and the people have been led back to an economic plantation.
God dang, economic plantation. God bless America. His name was my name too. Love that cut. All right, I'm going to leave the rest of that down below. I'm going to finish this without you guys, but encourage you to go check out the rest of this video. Let's go to the comment section. He's going to just start shitting on it. I still think there is positives, but like my girlfriend, my future wife, women, she's always sending me shit. Like, let's move to Spain. Let's move to Portugal, Uruguay. And I'm like, I've never even been there, you know? But I do know one thing. You can run away from some problems, but you can't run away from all your problems. And when it comes to, but even if you did move to these countries, we've talked to this 1,000 times, you're still going to have to make American money, aren't you? I don't think it's that much different. I've been to Mexico. We're going to Costa Rica coming up. I think you're still going to have to work. Like, it's still the same shit. The only difference is if you're making US dollars and you move to these countries, then you're living high, right? But come on, let's not bullshit each other here. All right, let's look at the comments here. I'm just saying, I'm throwing it out there because I don't want to have to move out of America. You know, there's places in America that are like, yo, this is nice. This is chill, dude. I've been there. A lot of people, some people just don't go to these places. They always go to big cities, so that's all you see. We can no longer vote ourselves out of this. It's not red versus blue thing. It's a rich versus poor thing, and the rich always win. That's not true. Oh, it probably is true. Actually, back to the war thing. Sometimes violence is the only answer. That's history, dude. I didn't make that shit up. The most intellectual and accurate description of the current situation I've heard to date. Thank you for the insight, depressing as it is. I'm a fan of this guy, but I'm gonna call it bullshit. It's not all like that. I'm just saying, not everything's just decrepit. Like, come on, let's cut the shit on that one. Our government is in bed with corporations, not for the people. Yeah, 1,000%. People, church, steeples, people. A member of my book club is gay. No, I'm just kidding. Is American, and she came to Canada a few years ago. She said that leaving the U.S. was like lifting a stone off her shoulders. Yeah, but then again, you got people coming from Mexico, Haiti, you name it. And then when they get here and they're like, oh, hallelujah. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not going to be like outside repping an American flag, but I'm still American, you know what I mean? All right. Someone once said very nicely that intellectualism in American public life was always treated as serious mental disease. What? Who in the shit said that? Popular culture, simple vocabulary, profit above everything else. The stage was setting up for decades. Now we watch the final act. All right. I do not like that comment. I'm just kidding. I'll give that comment a like. Okay. The USA didn't get involved in other countries' problems, as you mentioned. They created the problems in other countries. Yeah, the United States is just, we're responsible for everybody's demise now, which is probably, honestly. I have no idea. What the fuck do we really know, honestly? Lived in the USA all my life. I'm from Pennsylvania. I finally moved out of the country. People are so divided and rude. On the workplaces, on the streets, at the stores, on the road, conversations with anyone are very awkward, and you could feel unwanted vibes instantly. Just not for me anymore. I'm going to leave the link to him down below, leave the rest of that. I am going to say that when it comes to like these smaller towns where you can't afford to live anyways, I think it's still there, but it's also up to us. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to move to another country. And if you just sit in your house and not get to know your neighbor, it's going to be the same fucking thing. And you're still going to have to make American dollars. I'm just saying, nobody's moving to Mexico to make pesos. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, hell of a talk. God, I got a wedding tomorrow. I gotta get ready. I look like shit. Unreal.